Hello everyone and welcome to Semi-Homesteading with Abby. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to my channel. So today we're gonna be making pickles. This is something I put off for a really long time. My husband loves the pickles that my mother-in-law makes, and every time we go and visit them, they eat all these pickles and I'm like, I should be making these pickles. My husband loves them so much, but they seemed kind of intimidating for whatever reason. I finally decided one day, this is the time I'm going to finally learn how to make these pickles no matter how daunting, and I'm just gonna do it. My mother-in-law sent me her whole process. We're gonna do it today. And honestly, once I read the instructions for how to actually do all of this, I was like, wait, why have I put this off so long? Because literally they're ready the next day. I thought I had to have like a whole pickle rotation of, you know, weeks and weeks of them brining and marinating and, you know, turning cucumbers into pickles. I thought it took a long time. But with this method that my mother-in-law uses, they can be ready the next day. It was way less intimidating to know that it doesn't have to be this big long rotation of tracking, you know, what pickles you put in when. If you want, they can be ready in 24 hours. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it and start making pickles. Okay, we're gonna need two different pots for this. I have one getting started that I'm just gonna fill with water. This is gonna be put on high heat to start bringing it basically to a boil, and I wanna put my jars in there. I wanna keep them hot before I pack them with the cucumbers and the brine. Now the second pot, I'm gonna start by adding 7 cups of water to, and this is where the actual mixture brine will go. So it's gonna be 7 cups of water and then 3 cups of vinegar. You can use any brand of vinegar that you want, but as long as it's white distilled vinegar, that's what you're looking for. I'd probably do this in a slightly deeper saucepan next time, but I think this will work for now. But maybe next time I'll switch these around. Okay, at this point then I add a full packet of the spices, which for this one I did the Polish dill pickles. There's a bunch of other packets and a bunch of other flavors that you can try. This is the one that I knew was available, and I know that we've tried this and liked it before. I do want to mix it up a little bit later and try some other flavors, but this one is definitely good. Okay, at this point, I took out my cucumbers. Now these are pickling cucumbers from my garden. Probably should have picked them a little bit before this because as you can see, they're pretty huge. I think the optimal size is a little bit smaller, but as long as they're not super yellow and tough, they're fine. Like they tasted absolutely fine. So I washed off my cucumbers. They still have these like spiky parts on the side. So I washed those off, had to scrub off all of those. And then I started just cutting up each cucumber and packing them into the jars. This pot I had warming the jars only held really 2 at a time, so I just did this in phases with, you know, 2 going in at a time. I packed my jar full of pickles. You want to really get a tight pack on those, and then you want to pour the brine over the top. Now I had left my funnel, my jar funnel, outside when I was harvesting honey, so I kind of just was winging it, trying to pour the brine over the pickles. It was dangerous because this brine has turmeric in it, and I thought if I got on any of my counters, it would for sure stain. So you can see me a few times, more than a few times, wiping down my counters obsessively so I didn't get turmeric on them. Once I screwed the lids on and set them off to the side, I poured all the remaining juice into a Tupperware container because you can continue to use this. It says for a week. I know my mother-in-law, I think, uses it for longer than that. So you can just put it in the fridge, and if more pickles or if more cucumbers become ripe in the garden and you want to make more pickles, you can just do this whole process again. You don't have to boil and mix the whole concoction of spices anymore. You can simply pack the new cucumbers into jars and pour it over the top. So much easier. So I saved that juice. Okay, so it says the next step is to water boil can these, and then they'll last a longer time, obviously. These ones, I think my husband's gonna be so excited about eating pickles that 2 of these will probably be eaten within a week. So that only leaves 1 jar, and I'm planning to give this to my family. So I'm not gonna water boil can these, but normally if you wanted them for longer than a week, then water boil can them for 15 minutes. I'm just gonna skip that step today. I'm letting them cool down a little bit and I'll just pop them in the fridge. So that's pretty much the whole process for tonight. I'm gonna let these sit for a couple days. I'll check back and do a taste test.